Hello, everyone, and welcome to Steamy August, a month-long journey of learning more about steaming and getting the word out to all of the female-bodied folk out there to let them know what they can do to improve their reproductive health, improve cycle health, and honestly, do a deep dive into the amazing, incredible wisdom that we all carry inside of our bodies, deep in our wombs, that has been ignored and numbed out for a long, long time, generations of numbing. Right now, I am sitting on my steam stool. I'll show that to you here. That is where I do my steaming. Today, I'm going to give you a basics course. So many of you probably do not have a steam stool, and I'll be explaining to you how you can get started without such a thing, and then also tell you about where you can get your own steam stool or come up with your own. So it's pretty exciting, and I want to get started. Now let me just make it clear, this is a steam basics. So we're just going basic here. If you want more in-depth information, if you have some serious issues that you want to address, you can get in touch with myself. You can get in touch with the various people who have been trained in helping to develop protocols for various issues like fibroids, infertility, painful periods, things like that. You can also go to an incredible website with a wealth of information and courses that are offered, and that's Kelly Garza's website. It's called steamychick.com. So you go to steamychick, you can take courses there, and she just has some incredible, phenomenal information about steaming all around the world. If you do take a course with her, feel free to use my name as an affiliate code for a discount, and that's Adina Kaplan, ADINA KAPLAN. So feel free to do that, but definitely make use of her website. And the last little shout out for business would be if you want to go to my website and check that out. My website is www.adinachaya, that's spelled ADINACHAIA.com. And I have a page of information about pelvic steaming and about if you want to be in touch for consults. So now let's get to the topic at hand. This is Womb Wellness Wednesday number 1. I'm going to be doing a series of 4 Womb Wellness Wednesdays. Today is about basic steaming information. Next week will be myth busting. There's a lot of misinformation out there about steaming, and I'm going to do some myth busting. The third week, I will be talking about period care and how you can improve your cycle, improve PMS, improve your state of being during your period just by some simple acts during your period. And the final week will culminate with steaming, the patriarchy, and decolonizing our wombs. So we got a lot going on this month. I'm super excited. Let's get started. Steaming. Again, I'm just going to be talking about the basics here. It's sometimes called yoni steaming. It's called pelvic steaming or vaginal steaming. In various places around the world, it goes by other names as well. This is a practice that has been going on for hundreds, if not thousands of years, passed down from generation of women to generation of women. And here in the West, we've been cut off from these types of practices that are incredibly healing. So it's super exciting to be getting the word out and allowing women to be taking their power back, taking their bodies back, taking their vaginas back, taking their wombs back. So, vaginal steaming, what is it? Well, if any of you have had ever sinus issues, maybe you've done a facial steam before. And so you'll take a bowl. I got such a bowl right here. Maybe you'll have some sort of a bowl. And you'll boil up some water. You'll pour the water in there. And maybe you'll have a little bit of eucalyptus oil is a popular one to use. You'll put 1 little drop of eucalyptus oil in there. You'll take your towel, put it over your head, right? And then the steam, you're going to breathe it in and clear out your sinuses. Vaginal steaming is much the same. However, let me just throw out there right now, you will never, never use essential oils in your vaginal steam. Essential oils are far too potent and powerful and volatile, and your vaginal tissue is a very delicate mucous membrane, and it's very absorptive, and you do not want to have essential oils down there. It could actually cause some problems. So instead what you do is you make, basically it's like a tea. You make an infusion of particular herbs. So you're going to boil a kettle of water, about 6 cups of water. You're going to sprinkle some herbs, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. You're going to sprinkle about 2 tablespoons of herbs in there. You're going to take it off the heat and cover it. And that way, all of the steam and all of those wonderful medicinal properties that are going to be coming up with the steam are going to stay in that bowl for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you're going to get your little bowl and you're going to pour this infusion into your basin. At that point, you're going to take your basin, and if you do not have a steam stool or a steam sauna or a steam box, for starters, you can just put this on the ground, and you can use whatever bowl you want. I started with this one. To be honest, for me, it's a little bit wide. I prefer something a little narrower. And so I graduated to this bowl. I really like ceramic. Ceramic holds the heat much better, which means you can steam a little bit longer and the heat is retained in there. Much better than this stainless steel bowl. But either one is fine, especially for your first time. You're just giving it a shot, right? So you take your bowl, and your bowl is going to get hot. So you're going to put that on the floor, and you're going to put a towel around it so that you're protecting your legs, because what you're going to do is you're going to kneel or squat over this bowl. And after this video, I am going to show an image that depicts what it is that it's going to look like if you were going to be kneeling or if you're going to be squatting over a bowl like this. So you're going to be squatting or kneeling. You're going to grab a blanket or a towel, wrap it around your waist to keep all that luscious, delicious heat and herbal constituents in there. And you're going to steam for 10 minutes. And then afterwards, you're going to relax, because this is a very relaxing practice. You're going to let it sink in. You're going to feel the sensations that come up in your body. Now, I have a few things to say about this. One, again, do not use essential oils. You use herbs. The herbs that you can use are just your common kitchen herbs. Different herbs do have different medicinal qualities, but unless you're familiar with herbs or you sit down and have a consult with somebody, I'm just going to give you some basic herbs. Of course, they have qualities to them, but for 1 or 2 times that you're just giving it a shot to begin with, it will be fine. And those are herbs like lavender. Let me think. I wrote them down here, some of the basics. Lavender. You can use oregano just from your kitchen cabinet. Sage, also from your kitchen cabinet. Rosemary. Peppermint is lovely. It's very cooling. And so for somebody, for example, who has hot flashes, peppermint might be a really great idea. Also, if you don't want to use herbs and you really just want to go light the first time you try this, you can just take a lemon and take some of the peel off the lemon and put that in the water, and it's very refreshing and gives you a nice fresh scent. So afterwards, you really smell wonderful. So those are some of the herbs that you can use, not oils. And the second thing that I want to say about this is that steam is hot. It is, right? If any of you have made spaghetti and you take off the lid and your face is too close, you all know that steam is very hot. So this is a time for you really to sink into your body and listen to your body. So once you pour the water into your bowl, it's not going to be boiling anymore. You've already let it sit with the herbs for 10 minutes. So you're going to pour it into your bowl and you're going to kneel over it. Before you kneel over it, take your wrist, right? And just put your wrist over it and go, how hot is this? Is this something that I can handle? And then kneel over it before you wrap the blanket around you. And if it feels hot, if it feels uncomfortable in any way, move, stand up, let it cool off a little bit. Or you can also add a little bit of cool water. That'll cool it down really quickly. Just make sure not to add too much because you do want the steam. This practice is meant to be soothing, relaxing, softening. All right? This isn't a workout. This isn't a prescription. This isn't something that like somebody told me I should do this for 10 minutes, so I'm just going to stick to it even though it's really hot. This is not the point of it at all. So it's an opportunity for you to sink into your body and to see what it feels like, to feel warmth and moisture and a softening in an area that all too often we have been taught to numb out and to ignore, except when we want to have sex and we want pleasure. But for the rest of the time, most of the time, we really are not wanting to deal with it. We don't want to deal with the blood. We want to just stuff a tampon up there. We want to be able to do what we want to be able to do. This is a time to say, no, this is an incredible, precious, sacred part of the body. Our wombs have birthed our brothers, our fathers, our children, our friends, our spouses. Every human that has ever walked on this planet has come out of a womb. This is an incredibly magical part of our body, and it's the source of creation. So it's a time to really sink into that and to sink in the sensations that are brought up. Having said that, sometimes there is trauma that is stored in our pelvic bowl, whether it's sexual trauma, or trauma from the loss of a child, or from trying to have a child and you can't, or from shame. Many of us hold a lot of shame about things that have happened to us in that part of our body, or even just shame from any other part of our life that gets stuffed down into that area. Some of these things can come up. And if you're starting to feel emotional or things like that, you need to judge for yourself. And this is, again, another opportunity for you really to sit with yourself and to do a deep dive and say, can I continue doing this on my own? Or do I need somebody to guide me through this? Are things coming up that are bigger than what I want to look at right now? And if so, listen to that. Pay attention. That is part of this practice. Part of this practice is listening to your body, listening to the somatic experience, and listening to the other things that are awakened as a result of waking up this part of your body. So it's super exciting, but there also can be other things that come along with it. So bring it all in, allow it all to happen, and then if it's too much, acknowledge that. Honor that it's too much for you right now. Set it aside, and maybe it's something that you'll come back to, or it's something that you'll seek support for from a practitioner like myself, or from somebody in your own local community. It is really an amazing thing. I encourage you all to try it. But wait. One more thing. There are times when you will not steam. Absolutely not steam. All right? So pay attention here. If you are pregnant, you will not steam until after you're done. There are some amazing protocols for postpartum steaming. That is not something that you should take lightly or try on your own. You want to do that with your doula or with somebody who's trained in postpartum steaming protocols. All right, so if you're pregnant, don't steam. If you are bleeding, so if you are on your menses or you have some sort of spotting that is red, fresh blood, don't steam. Steam increases the circulation to your uterus. It's going to increase circulation to that part of your body. Increased circulation means more blood. And if you're already bleeding, you do not need more circulation down there. Okay, so if you're pregnant and if you're bleeding, do not steam. There are a few other things that you need to know about not steaming. If you are a person who tends to have spontaneous bleeding as opposed to a regular cycle, you just like randomly start bleeding here and there, that needs to be gotten under control before you should start a steam protocol. And acupuncturists are actually a great type of healing modality to help with those sorts of things. I highly recommend it. But you don't want to steam because, again, if you're already prone to spontaneous bleeding, you don't want to bring more circulation and the possibility that the bleeding will start again. Other situations where you do not want to steam unless you are working with a trained facilitator would be if you have some sort of a burning itch, an infection going on currently, if you have a birth control implant or use an IUD, or if you've had an ablation. So those are definitely contraindications and precautions that you need to take into account. Otherwise, steam. This is Vaginal Steam Awareness Month. Go steam. This is the time to try it. There is a host of us vaginal steam facilitators out there ready and waiting to answer your questions and to consult with you if you have any questions. This is Womb Wellness Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again next week.